This exhibition, which is now called Famine, I got involved in it because I'm passionate about justice, I suppose, and truth, looking for the truth all the time and trying to work out the meaning of suffering, really, and why we have it. And to have an exhibition in a setting, a museum called the Museum of Religious Art, is a perfect setting, because it really means that my own questions and my own conclusions that I come to in my art and the way I do things can make people question why we have suffering, and it means that it also means that people question their faith or question their bigotries or their prejudices. So this is a very, very important exhibition, I think, for me to do. And I've always been drawn in my work towards dark subjects, and this is obviously one of the darkest. I mean, famine is where people die. This exhibition was meant to have been primarily about the Great Irish Famine, but I mean, I've decided consciously to widen that, make it universal. This exhibition is about general famine. It's about death, destruction, people dying of hunger. The other thing is that the thing that strikes me today is this incredible bigotry and prejudice that people have got as to, depending on who's suffering or who's starving, as to what religion they are. So I'm trying to break down all these prejudices and boundaries between different religions or people who have no religion, bring people together to sort of try and find out what does it all mean, really, to make people question. What I'm trying to do in these, in all my work, and the whole exhibition is based on two things, I suppose. It's anti-sectarian, trying to bring people together of all faiths and all beliefs or non-beliefs, and to try and open a door into a different world to them, a world where they actually stop and think to themselves rather than just getting in, not thinking, because there's nothing worse than not thinking why we're here. It's a waste of a life, really, considering there's people, and have been people starving and suffering throughout the ages. What the hell are we doing here, basically? If there's no such thing as truth, then what does suffering mean? I mean, why are we here? As long as I've got energy in me, I can draw, and people can get moved by my work, and they can do something about their life first, the people that are around them next, and then the more abstract world after that. I mean, you can only really do it that way. You can't help the world first and avoid the beggar on the street outside. The legacy of the Irish famine is, there's so many, it's incredible how it's like a chain reaction, it's, obviously it's a kind of, it's caused, it's difficult to talk about actually, what it's caused, exactly what it's caused, but it's caused a huge amount of misery, and a huge amount of bigotry and prejudice and so many other things. It's also caused happiness, and it's caused people having new lives and being dispersed all over the world, and it's caused communities to develop here, and it's caused the church to have a community here, the Catholic Church that is. It's caused friendship between Protestants and Catholic. It's caused enemy, it's caused hatred between them. It's all these things. I hate bigotry. I hate it with a passion. And we all have it. It's not as if I don't have it, because I can feel it in me sometimes as well. And it always comes out, and it always it always feels like something that you want to kind of, you know it's there and you want to hide it away, but you're desperate to say something, you're desperate to think something, and you're trying to stop yourself. So everyone has bigotry in them. It must be inbuilt into our very kind of souls. But the thing is, bigotry is, if it comes out, then it can cause, it can, you know, it could cause the end of the world, you know. It's basically that bad, I think, you know. Hatred, it causes hatred. Hatred is a horrible word, isn't it? The mother and child motif in this exhibition and throughout my life, I suppose since I was about 4 or 5 years old, I've always done that, this idea of the mother and the child. I've never actually done a Madonna and child, you know, in the religious way, you know, and I wonder why I haven't done that, but I suppose that they're all Madonnas and childs in a way. It means a lot to me. Well, I'm a father. I'm trying to put myself in a woman's place, what it's like. I suppose all artists have got to do that, and all men have got a feminine side to them as well. And you try and think of what it'd be like to be a mother. People have done it. Poets and writers and artists have done it through the ages. It's a very important and powerful, iconic image, I think, a mother and a child, especially when the child is dying of starvation and the mother doesn't know what to do. So it is one of the most, it's a situation of despair or near despair, and it's the sort of thing that tests the faith, really, I think, tests the faith of anyone. Materials, technically this exhibition, I've used lots of different techniques, and it's mainly drawings, and I love drawing. I mean, I draw all the time. I started drawing when I was very young, and I did lots of battle scenes and gory scenes of, I loved kind of battles and things like that. I suppose it's never changed. I've always been interested in blood and guts and in the dark side of things. Obviously, it's changed. The drawing, in some ways, drawing is something that everyone can do, really. You know, everyone can draw. Everyone can be taught to draw to some extent, and it is good for people to draw. When I was in Bosnia, for instance, I had all my art materials stolen, so I couldn't work at all, and I had to work. This was the second time I was over there in the winter. It was very cold, and it was so we had lots of candles as well in case, because you know, obviously there was no electricity in a lot of places, and I was with a friend actually, and we had candles and we had boot polish for our boots, and we decided to use candle wax and boot polish. And I think one of the drawings in this exhibition is done with that technique, you know, where you just draw with a candle and the wax resists the boot polish. You can use different colours as well, you know, and it's an incredible technique. I really love it, and you can add a wee bit of graphite pencil to it maybe. Well, if people go to this exhibition and are shocked and then do nothing about it, then that's a crime, you know, and they deserve to be. They deserve a kind of punishment, I suppose, in a way, because it's actually a crime. It would be a crime to see something and not do anything about it in any form, even if it's a small act of charity towards someone, or you act differently towards your partner or your husband or wife or something, or children or whatever, especially children, because you know, this is really for children, you know.